Vice President Shettima departs Abuja to attend a summit in Italy. Bandit threatens to marry Zamfara girls if they fail to settle 12 million naira ransom. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency recruits 2,428 personnel. And on business, workers speak as governors borrow 2.2 trillion from banks. And on international scene, World Health Organization issues fresh warning on contaminated cough syrup in Africa. And on sport, Okonjo-Iweala backs Super Falcons to beat Australia. Hello there, welcome to Standard Voice Television News. I am Fatima Ibrahim and Vice President Kassim Shettima boards the presidential jet on July 23, 2023 for the UN and Russia-African summits. The Vice President will represent President Bola Tinubu at the United Nations Food Systems Summit in Rome, as well as the Russian-Africa Summit. A statement issued on Sunday by his spokesman, Olusola Abiola, confirmed the development. The statement said that the Rome event, the Vice President will join other global leaders for the first stock-taking moment summit themed Transforming Food Systems for People, Planet and Prosperity, scheduled from Monday 24th to Wednesday 26th July. The National President, Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, Professor Emmanuel Osadike, has urged the federal government to review the hike in fees in its schools. He urged the government to do so and find a safe landing for the nation's future leaders. Professor Osadike was speaking against the backdrop of the recent hike in fees of unity colleges and some first-generation public tertiary institutions in the country. He told newsmen in an interview on Sunday in Lagos that the hike in fees could be counterproductive. It could be recalled that the University of Lagos was the latest of the public universities to increase its fees from 25,000 to almost 200,000, depending on program. The university had announced an adjustment in the obligatory fees for both returning and new students of the institution with effect September 1st from the 2023/2024 academic session. 4 females, including a student of Zamfara State College of Arts and Science Gusau, abducted by bandits 6 months ago, have cried out over a threat by their abductors to marry them off if they fail to pay 12 million naira ransom before the end of July. The victims, Aisha Yahya, Jamila Yahya, Sani and Hawa Garba, were kidnapped along the Birnin Magaji Namuda Road in Zamfara State 6 months ago. They have been in captivity as their families could not settle the 12 million naira ransom demanded by the bandits. The bandits now threatened to forcefully marry them if the money was not paid in the next few days. In a 2 minutes 19 seconds video clip released by the bandits on Sunday, the abducted females are seen crying, calling for help from both the Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal and the general public to come to their rescue before they are forcefully married by the bandits. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has said it had impounded 2 trucks conveying large quantities of stolen railway sleepers, arrested 12 suspected vandals, and clamped down on 2 illegal warehouses which vandalized railway sleepers in the last 2 weeks. A statement yesterday by the spokesman of the Corps, Olusola Odumoso, revealed the arrests were made during 3 separate operations by the Commandant General's Special Intelligence Squad at Kafanchan, Hoi Road, Jema'a Local Government Area in Kaduna State, and Agwan Kuje Village, Kadarko area in Keyena Local Government Area of Nasarawa State, as well as at the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC Orientation Camp, Kefi, Abuja Expressway. Mr. Odumoso said, following intelligence reports, the first 5 arrests were made when suspected vandals were loading vandalized and stolen railway sleepers at a bush in Nasarawa State. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has recruited 2,428 narcotic officers expected to commence training beginning from July 27th. A statement by the agency's Director, Media and Advocacy, Mr. Femi Babafemi, on Sunday in Abuja said names of the successful candidates had been placed on the agency's website. Mr. Babafemi said those recruited for narcotic officers basic cadet training should proceed to the NDLA Academy in Jos for their training. He added that narcotic agents and assistants would undergo their training at the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps College of Peace and Disaster Management in Katsina. He explained that all successful candidates were to report for training at their respective designated centers according to their groupings on dates assigned to their groups. Kano State alone in the northwest has 1.5 million children under 5 years of age who are stunted, representing over 10% of the country's burden. According to the Nigeria Demographic and Health Survey, Nigeria has about 19.8 million children who are malnourished, giving Nigeria the highest burden of stunting in Africa and the second highest in the world. About 70% of children under 5 are anemic, as child nutrition is core to human capital development in Nigeria. This presents an urgent crisis that needs to be addressed. The Kaduna State government has confirmed the death toll from the diphtheria outbreak in the state has risen to 17, with 68 suspected cases identified across the state as of Sunday. Out of the figure, 14 deaths were recorded in the Kafanchan, Jama'a local government area, while 3 fatalities occurred in Makarfi local government area. Giving an update on the diphtheria outbreak, the chief epidemiologist of the State Ministry of Health, Dr. Jeremiah Daiko, explained that the results of 20 samples that had been collected and sent by the ministry for analysis were being awaited, while the 48 cases on admission were in stable condition. Newsmen report that index cases was a 4-year-old male child whose illness started on July 4th in Jama'a local government area in the state. And on business, amid worsening revenue challenges, state government indebtedness to commercial banks has risen to 2.2 trillion naira, findings by newsmen. The latest data from the quarterly statistical bulletin of the Central Bank of Nigeria, obtained by newsmen, showed that states and local government areas owned banks about 2.21 trillion naira as of March 2023. Central Bank of Nigerian data also revealed the state's indebtedness rose from 1.97 trillion naira to the current figure, indicating an increase of about 240 billion naira within the period under review. Reacting to the development, State Government Workers and Pensioners Union lambasted governors, saying the rising borrowing by governments had only worsened the finances of the states. Meanwhile, newsmen further observed the borrowing from banks was about 40.33% of 5.48 trillion naira sub-national debt. Lagos was the top debtor with about 812.38 billion naira as of March 31st, 2023. It was followed by Ogun with 293.2 billion naira and Rivers 255.51 billion naira, Akwa Ibom 206.64 billion naira, and Imo 202.55 billion naira. Jigawa had the least domestic debt of 43.51 billion naira as of March 31st, 2023. It was followed by KB 60.94 billion naira, Katsina 62.37 billion naira, Nasarawa 71.45 billion naira, and Ondo 75.51 billion naira. Meanwhile, about 25 states in Nigeria suffered a drop in their internally generated revenue in the first quarter of 2023, according to the budget implementation reports of the states analyzed by newsmen. The data showed that 25 states earned 182.26 billion naira in first quarter of 2023. Although there are 36 states in Nigeria, Rivers and Sokoto have no data for first quarter 2023 yet. Akwa Ibom has no data for first quarter 2022, while Kwara, Edo, Kaduna, Lagos, Bauchi, Zamfara, Yobe, Ogun, and Ogun states have no data for fourth quarter 2023. Therefore, the figure for internally generated revenue was limited to 25 out of 36 states in the country. And on international scene,
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
World Health Organization on Sunday issued fresh warning on circulation of contaminated cough medicines in Cameroon. WHO in a statement said, this WHO medical products alert refers to a batch of contaminated Na2 cold syrup identified in Cameroon and first reported to WHO on March 13, 2023. All reasonable precautions have been taken by WHO to verify the information contained in this alert, and this may be updated as more information becomes available. The stated active ingredients of Na2 cold syrup are listed as paracetamol, phenylephrine, hydrochloride, and chlorpheniramine maleate. The combination of these three ingredients is used to relieve symptoms associated with common cold, flu, and allergic rhinitis. Still on the international scene, at least 12 people have died and dozens injured in Cameroon's business hub, Douala, after a 4-story building collapsed in the early hours of Sunday morning. The cause of the collapse is unclear, but the taller building appears to have fallen onto a smaller one. Emergency services remained at the scene at Sunday evening. The governor of the Littoral region, Samuel Ivaha Deboa, said a 4-story house collapsed and recorded 31 people, 12 of whom died. And on sports updates, Director General, World Trade Organization Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala has thrown her weight behind the Super Falcons to go all out for victory against Australia. The Super Falcons will take on the co-host in their second group game at the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup on Thursday at the Brisbane Stadium. Randy Waldrum's side played out a 0-0 draw against Canada in the first opening fixture. The Matildas, on the other hand, managed to secure a 1-0 victory against the Republic of Ireland. Taking to social media to celebrate the Super Falcons after their impressive draw against Canada, Okonjo-Iweala charged the players to do more against Australia. That's the news, but before we go, a quick look at the major headlines. Vice President Shettima departs Abuja to attend a summit in Italy. Bandit threatens to marry Zamfara girls if they fail to settle 12 million naira ransom. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency recruits 2,428 personnel. And on business, workers kick as governors borrow 2.2 trillion from banks. And on international scene, World Health Organization issues fresh warning on contaminated cough syrup in Africa. And on sport, Okonjo-Iweala backs Super Falcons to beat Australia. On behalf of News and Current Affairs Department, I still remain Fatima Ibrahim, keep watching Standard Voice Television News.